Okay, so not too long ago, Matthew Fitzpatrick showed everyone on social media how he hit his 4 different drives. Now, in my opinion, I think this is absolutely amazing that he's able to hit 4 different drives. He was able to hit what he calls his bomb driver. That's where he just goes all out, tries to get maximum speed, maximum height. He's just bombing the driver down there, okay? He also has his stock driver, okay? Which pretty much most golfers know how to play. It might not be ideal, but they play their stock driver. He then had another shot, which was his low bullet driver, okay? Now that would be used when he's maybe into the wind, or when he is on a quite a tight hole, let's say. And then he had another one, which I don't know if it was really needed. I think 3 is pretty good, but I think he played one where he hit a low cut. Now to me, just me personally, the low stinger, or the straight low ball, and the low cut could be the same thing. Okay, he used 4. I'm going to show you how to hit all 4 today, but I would recommend 3. I'd recommend understanding how to hit the bomb, understanding how to hit your stock shot, which you already kind of do, but then sometimes even more importantly, how to hit your second serve, which is that low one you keep out of the wind, or it hits the ground a little bit earlier, and you get the distance through run rather than height. So I'm going to show you exactly how to hit these 3 shots. Okay, so the first one we're going to hit is a stock driver. Let's start there, because I think it's really important we start there and then make sure that we can adapt that stock shot to maybe the bomb or the low one. Okay, so fairly simple here. Let me grab a ball and a tee, and let's learn how to hit our stock driver, okay? I'm gonna place our ball just where we normally do at normal tee height, okay? Hopefully that's in line, maybe need that a little bit more forward, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to basically have our ball position as per normal, okay? So for me, my stock shot, my ball position would be just inside a lead heel. I'd have a nice wide stance, and I'd have my setup position where my upper body is slightly tilted away from the target, okay? That helps me generate an upward attack angle and allows me to hit the ball kind of far, okay? Now that's our stock shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this golf ball, and we're going to see what kind of flight I get. I'm not trying to hit it hard, I'm not trying to hit it soft, I'm just going with a stock shot. All right, so let's line up to this one. So we've got ball position inside lead heel, setting the golf club as I normally would. I go through my little pre-shot routine, which is I just bump my lower body forward, I tilt my upper body back, and you can see my head is behind this ball, and then I'm gonna go ahead and hit it as I normally would. Little bit left of target, but you know what? That's about my stock shot, okay? A little bit of a pull, but that's perfectly okay. We're not trying to do anything pretty here. I'm literally just trying to show you exactly how I would hit these golf shots. Okay, so the next shot we're going to play is the low bullet. Well, we're not going to hit the cut one just yet. We're going to hit the low one. So I've left my tee as I would as a stock shot, okay? So again, as you saw, when I set up to that stock shot, tee height pretty much the same there. My upper body was tilted back. There's my stock setup, okay? Now here's what I would change for a low bullet, okay? First thing I'm going to do is lower the tee. So now you can see that dramatically lower to the point where that golf ball's no longer sitting above the crown of my driver, okay? What this is going to entice me to do is it's going to entice me to stay on top of it and to actually hit a little bit down on the golf ball, ever so slightly, okay? We can still hit the middle of the face, all right? We don't have to think about it where we're hitting the bottom of the face and hitting that spinny high one. We're still trying to hit the middle of the face. So we've teed the ball down, that's number 1. Number 2, because we are hitting down on the ball a little bit more, we need to move our swing direction more left. So what that means is we're going to feel like through impact that I'm actually exiting a little bit more left than if I was tilting back and getting more up in the air this way. Okay, so we're going to feel like because the ball's sitting down on that tee a little bit more. It's closer to the ground. I'm going to feel like I'm hitting a little bit more down and left, okay? Now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to perhaps move that ball position ever so slightly back of where my stock shot would be. So again, my stock shot was here. I'm going to move this just a little bit more back. So that just takes off maybe 1 or 2 degrees of loft ever so slightly, and we're just trying to hit this a little bit lower, okay? So let's get set up again. A little bit more back than the stock shot. And instead of tilting my body back behind the ball, because we don't want it to go that high, I'm going to leave it neutral. I'm not going to lean it this way, but I'm just going to leave it fairly neutral. Okay, so let's recap that. Tee down a little bit more. Ball position ever so slightly back of where you would have it for stock, okay? And my spine angle is going to be fairly neutral. And then through the hitting area, I want to kind of feel like I'm clearing myself and swinging that thing just a little bit more left to offset the fact that I'm hitting down on the ball. Now, let me explain why it's important to swing left. When we hit down on the ball, it moves our swing path or swing direction to the right, okay? Think about that. If we're moving our swing to the right, we're hitting more of an in to out motion, right? So we need to offset that with a feeling of swinging more left, okay? So let's give this shot a go. We're looking for a fairly low golf shot to go under the wind or hit the ground a little earlier than what it would do if it was up in the air, okay? So let's test this out. So we get set up, ball back a little bit, spine in a neutral area. Let's go ahead and hit the golf shot. As you can see there, a lot lower ball flight. It's probably going to go about 20 yards shorter of where my stock shot would go, but I get to use the trajectory being a lot lower to get that ball to land on the fairway quicker and use the run to get my distance. Now the next shot we're going to play is very, very similar to that low bullet. I personally, I guess I do use this a little bit subconsciously. But what we're going to do is we're going to try and cut this ball. So it's a low cutter. Now, why do I think he uses this? I think he's trying to essentially make sure that the ball is traveling in a certain direction. So he's trying to get the ball to go left to right so that he can stand on a tee block, aim up the left-hand side, and just know for certainty that that ball's not going left, it's going to go to the right. So in my guesstimation, I think that's why he would do it. So we're going to basically do everything we just did in the low bullet driver, the low straight driver, except we're going to aim a little bit more left, and we're going to feel like we swing more left. Okay, that's the most important thing here. We don't want to try and get stuck underneath that thing because then we're going to flip it left or block it. So we need to make sure we start the ball on line, and we're going to start it left with a little cut. So again, we're going to set up to this golf ball, nice low tee, ball ever so slightly back of our stock ball position. I'm going to turn my feet a little bit more left or open. Leave that face square. Don't follow the club face with your stance line because now we're just pointing it left. We want to keep that face square, but my stance open. And then again, I'm going to feel like I'm staying on top of the ball when I take the swing back. And I'm going to feel like I'm covering the ball and exiting left, okay? Let's give that a go. Let's see if we can do this. Not a shot that I'm that comfortable with, but let's give it a go. Okay, so it's in the water. Let me give that another go. This is why I don't like playing it, because I tend to neck them a little bit. So I got that a little bit out of the heel, which is why it flew so far to the right. Okay, let me try that again. I've got to get a little bit more middle contact on this one if I'm to do this well. This is a shot I'm going to say is going to take a lot of yardage off your drives. So if you're someone who wants to hit it further, I wouldn't recommend this one because essentially you're going to be playing a lot of spin, a lot of left to right. I don't think this is going to help a lot of golfers. Okay, this is why I say for me, I'd rather just the low bullet, not the low fade. Let me try that again. Let me try middle, get a little bit more middle contact here. So open stance, swing left, hit the middle of the face. Oh. Okay, I didn't cut it. It was a beautiful shot though, it was low, but I didn't cut it. So it's an extremely difficult shot. Now, if I can't play it, I highly doubt the 10 markers, the 20 markers that are watching this video are going to be able to play it. So how about we do something that I know you can play, and that's the bomb. Alrighty, so the bomb diggity, the big boy. Okay, this is the one where we just go all out. Now, if you've got a bad back, be careful, okay? My back's not the greatest, but I'm gonna do it here. But this is where we're trying to get the most distance out of our drives, okay? Practice this on the range before you go out on the course. For some people, trying to swing it faster and harder actually works out worse, okay? I'm actually someone, luckily enough, who actually, when I swing it faster, I get better. So do some speed training programs. Stack System's great, Super Speed. I would recommend Stack System. I use Stack System myself. So here's how we do it, okay? The bomb driver. We want to tee the ball up a little bit higher, okay? A little bit higher than stock, all right? We're going to place the ball position pretty much on my left heel. I'm going to get a little bit wider with my stance, and I'm going to be behind the golf ball a little bit more. Now, the key to hitting the bomb driver is how do you generate that extra 5, 6, 7, maybe even 10 miles an hour clubhead speed? In my opinion, the best way that I've found to do this is I really try and get tall in my backswing, which means that I can slam down in the downswing and really use that ground to push up of, okay? Or to push out of. That's how I'm going to generate another 5, 6, 7, 10 miles an hour, okay? So instead of just my stock driver swing where I get set up and I just turn off the golf ball normally, I'm going to feel like I really kind of rock back and forth between my legs, and I feel like I really raise up. You see how my left leg comes up, my left foot comes up, so I'm getting taller in the backswing, slamming that foot down, and then really trying to explode, okay? Now again, be careful with this, make sure you're practicing it first, but here's how I would hit it. So let's give this a go. I'm looking for a longer, higher ball flight that's going to give me an extra 15 to 20 on a nice open hole where I can afford to maybe spray it. Okay, so let's give this a go. So we're going to feel wide stance. Look how far behind the golf ball I'm getting. Okay, I'm getting myself prepped. Notice how I'm never still. I'm not just, right? I'm always bouncing around. Okay, waggle that golf club. Get yourself set up, and then really feel like you're really just going to hammer this ball. Ready? Little bit high and spinny, but you can probably notice that was a lot more clubhead speed than when I used my stock shot. Okay, I even made a mess of this alignment stick because my feet were going everywhere. Okay, so that would be how I would hit a bomb driver. Now, of course, I haven't forgotten about this angle. I know you all want to see that ball flight. You want to see it from a down the line perspective with that tracer on it. So let me give it to you from this angle, okay? I'm going to do everything I just said from that angle. Ball position forward, upper body more behind. And I'm going to really feel like I'm rocking back and forth on my feet, waggling the club, never sitting still. And then I'm going to feel like I jump up a lot and slam my foot down. You can hear how puffed I'm getting just talking about this. Okay, here we go. Big slamming ball. Oh, baby. So the previous one I actually hit a little right. This one I kind of nuked pretty straight. So that was how I would bomb that driver. Now, if you notice, well, that one in particular, you wouldn't have seen it from this angle here, but you would have seen that that still didn't go that crooked. That's still in play. This is a pretty tight fairway I'm dealing with, and that was still in play by miles. Now, like I said, I swing it better when I'm faster. You might not be the same, so just be careful. But there's how you hit the 4 drives that Matt Fitzpatrick was talking about. We've got the bomb driver, when we want to just hammer the ball, okay? We've got the stock shot, okay? Which you use pretty much every day. Then we've got the low bullet, which is what I like to use a lot of the time when my swing's feeling a little off. I like to feel like I cover the ball and just keep it low, okay? And then we've got that low cut, which in my opinion, I think is going to be very difficult for the recreational golfer to play. Doesn't mean you can't try it, but you know, the difference between the bomb driver and then the low cut is going to be like, man, maybe like 50 yards. That's a lot to give up. So maybe leave that one out. Focus on those 3, the bomb, the stock, and the bullet.